Okay, so I'm gonna have us go ahead and stand up. And we're gonna do just a little energy release this morning. With the week at hand to try to just let all that go for the moment so that we're not carrying all of that with us. So we'll start with your right hand on your left shoulder and gently just begin to squeeze down the arm. I like to squeeze through my fingers too. It's up to you how that feels. And then switch arms. And the amount of pressure is just up to you how much you want to use. Whatever you need. And then we'll squeeze down from the top of the thighs all the way down to the ankles and the feet. And then gently standing back up, we'll start on their left shoulder again and gently pat all the way down the arm and switching and patting down the front of the legs and the back of the legs and the belly and then the low back. And then we're gonna brush anything that's not yours or anything you don't want to carry anymore. You're gonna brush that energy off. Down the front of the legs and on the back of the legs and the belly and the back. And then we'll shake anything that's left that we don't need today. And when you're ready, you can just come to stillness. Take a couple of breaths. And hopefully you feel a little lighter. I was feeling a little buzzy after that too, just moving that energy. And then let's go ahead and we'll come down to our seats and we'll get ourselves a little more grounded. So having a blanket or a cushion under your hips if that feels more comfortable. We'll begin rubbing the palms of our hands together, bringing focus and energy into the palms. And then taking the fingertips and gently brushing them across the forehead, temples, and cheeks, brushing away any worries or expectations. And then bring your fingertips to the eyes, palms to the cheeks, turning your attention inward. And take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. And when you're ready, you can float your hands down, either keeping your eyes closed or gazing gently downward. Shoulders back and down. Lifting your heart with each inhaling breath. Sitting bones sinking toward the earth, grounding, connecting you to its stabilizing energy. We'll tune in with 3 ohms. Feel free to join in or just absorb the vibration. Another deep breath in. Oh. Take a moment to absorb the vibrations of the mantra as it connects us all as one. Allow yourself to settle here this Saturday morning and set an intention for your practice, something you'd like to nurture or cultivate within yourself. Bring your awareness to your breath. Allow each inhale to bring you here, to this room, to this moment. Allow each exhale to release anything not needed for your practice today. With your next inhaling breath, allow the belly to soften and expand. And as you exhale, draw the belly toward the back. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding and contracting. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly and open the ribs, reaching them out to the sides. And as you exhale, contract the belly and relax the ribs. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding and opening, contracting and relaxing. With your next inhale, expand the belly, open the ribs, and lift the heart. As you exhale, contract, relax, and lower. Continue this full deep breath, expanding the lungs in all directions with each inhale, completely releasing the breath with each exhale. As you continue this full deep breath, gently begin to lengthen the exhale, slowing it down, making it a little longer than the inhale. As you slowly release that long exhale, consciously release any emotions or difficulties that need to flow out, filling back in with the fresh oxygen, fresh energy, and light, and releasing what is no longer needed. Take one more full extended breath. When you reach the end of your exhale, gently return to your natural breath. Taking a moment to notice any changes you feel in your mind or body. Remembering that our breath is always with us to help find those moments of peace, calm. Bringing your awareness to your right hand, allow the tips of the thumb and pointer finger to come together. And bring the fingertips to your heart center. Turning your attention deeper inward towards your heart. Looking within for your inner light and your inner joy. As you find that connection with the light within you, allow its warm glow to flow on the breath throughout your entire body. As you find that connection with your inner joy, allow it to radiate up onto your face in a smile. And breathe it out into the space around you. As we continue our practice, allow your light and joy to flow through each breath and movement, honoring all that you are in each moment. When you're ready, you can float your hand down and gently open your eyes. If you'd like to switch your legs or change positions, please go ahead and do that. And with your next inhale, let's scrunch the shoulders up by our ears. And as you exhale, press the shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Let's bring the hands in front of the heart, palms facing down, gently tucking the shoulder blades, lifting the heart, strengthening the muscles around the scapula. Now let's press the elbows back toward each other, lifting the heart, squeezing the center of the shoulder blades toward each other, wringing out any tension. And then opening the arms wide, turning the palms up, lifting the heart a little more, gently squeezing the lower corners of the shoulder blades toward each other. If it feels okay, flexing the wrists, pressing through the palms, allowing our hearts to be open, breathing into them, creating space. And let's bring our arms in front, crossing the right over the left, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or left hand around the right wrist, or hands at the shoulders. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, relaxing the jaw and the neck. Pressing the elbows forward, gently squeezing the arms together, breathing into the upper back, back of the heart, creating space and ease. And if it feels okay, begin to lower and lift the elbows, extending the stretch around the shoulders. And with the next inhale, if it feels okay, lifting the elbows up and gently arching. And as you exhale, folding forward, dropping the arms down, being careful of the low back. Letting the weight of the arms open through the upper back a little more. And with your next inhale, come back to center. Unwrapping the arms open wide, pressing through the palms, lifting the heart. Breathing into the heart, creating space. And then we'll bring the arms in front, crossing the left over the right. Bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or right hand around the left wrist. Or hands at the shoulders. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Jaw and neck are relaxed. Pressing the elbows away, gently squeezing the arms together. Breathing into the upper back. Releasing tension that blocks the back of the heart. We often hold that energy there, protecting our hearts. And in this moment, allow yourself to feel safe and open for this moment. Gently letting down that shield. If it feels okay, you can begin to lower and lift the elbows. And with your next inhale, if it feels okay, lifting the elbows a little higher, gently arching. And as you exhale, lowering the arms down, being careful of the low back, releasing the back of the neck, creating space in the back of the heart. And with your next inhale, coming back to the center, unwrapping the arms, let's reach them out to the sides, tucking the shoulder blades. Let's make some circles with the wrists. And you can have palms open or in fists. And reverse those circles. Really thinking about keeping those shoulder blades tucked. And then let's bring the hands to the heart, palms together. Interlace the fingers, press the palms out in front. Roll the shoulders forward, drop the chin, round the spine. With your next inhale, lift the palms up over the head, gently arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. This time as you exhale, leave the palms up and gently drop the chin toward the chest. Softening the elbows, roll the upper corners of the shoulders toward each other, gently wringing out any tension. If it feels okay, soften the back of the neck a little more. And if it feels okay for your shoulders and elbows, you can press the palms up a little higher. With your next inhale, lift the chin. And as you exhale, float the hands down. And take a breath in and out. Let's bring the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the right hip. Face forward, deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently twist toward the right. Head comes around last. Lift the heart with each inhale, gently twisting through the ribs with each exhale. Keeping the left hand on the knee with your next inhale, bring the right arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Lifting the heart, dropping the right hip down as you reach through the fingertips, creating space and openness. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And as you exhale, come back to the center. And take a breath in and out. Bring the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the left hip, face forward, deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently twist toward the left, head comes around last. Lifting the heart with each inhale, gently twisting through each exhale. Finding that edge between flexibility and inflexibility. Keeping the right hand on the knee, with your next inhale, lift the left arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body, dropping the left hip, lifting the heart, reaching through the fingertips. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And as you exhale, come back to the center. Take a breath in and out. Just notice how your body and your mind feel in this moment. Notice what you need. If you're struggling physically or emotionally, see if you can offer yourself some words of kindness. And then when you're ready, we'll extend our legs out in front of us. Scooting our feet down toward the end of the mat. Gently flexing the feet, lifting the spine tall, shoulders back and down. Belly muscles are strong. We're going to flex the feet and then engage the quadriceps, drawing the kneecaps up. Gently lifting the heels off the floor if that feels okay. Either both feet at the same time or one leg at a time. Hands can rest on the legs or floor. Trying not to hyperextend the back of the knees, but engage both the inner and outer quads. And with the next exhale, soften the legs. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, gently folding forward. Just as far as feels okay. Hands on the legs, floor, or feet. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, softening, letting the ribs come toward the thighs. Lengthening and softening with the breath. Honoring your body where it is in this moment. With your next inhale, lift up tall. Bringing the hands behind us, fingertips pointing toward the hips. Can either keep the legs together, working with inclined plane here, or bending the knees, bringing the feet hip width apart, and working with reverse table. So finding what feels right for you today. Bending the elbows, rolling those shoulders back. With your next inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, gently lower and hover if that feels okay, keeping the elbows bent. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower and hover. Inhale, lift. This time, hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Elbows stay slightly bent, hips reach high, head extends out from the spine, or tuck the chin can tuck toward the chest as well. And then we'll gently lower down and shake out the wrists. And let's come to the center of the mat, round the spine, and roll the rest of the way down. Gently scanning up the body, noticing any places that feel tired, achy, or sore. Honoring yourself and your body by listening to its messages. Pushing yourself to your edge, but not beyond it. And remembering that each time you do yoga, your body is a little bit different. Let's bend the right leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Shoulders tuck under, lengthen through the neck, soften around the hip. Keeping the left hand on the knee, allow the right arm to fall out to the side, palm facing down. And as you exhale, gently twist over the left side of the body. Right hip comes off of the mat, foot comes across toward the floor. Vision toward the right arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Release the muscles around the hip. Allowing the spine to ease into the twist. With your next inhale, come back to the center. Extending the leg up toward the sky, take hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes point toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, reaching through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. And then begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reverse the circles. Reaching through the heel, let the sitting bones gently drop down, pressing the sitting bones toward the wall in front of you, lengthening through the back, lengthening through the back of the leg. Then tucking the pelvis and drawing the leg toward the torso just as far as feels okay. Reaching through the heel, belly muscles are strong. Stay here, or with your next exhaling breath, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down or rest. Reaching actively through the heel, belly muscle strong, lengthen through the neck. And with your next inhale, lower the head and chest. And as you exhale, slowly lower the leg. Once you reach the floor, take a deep breath in and out. Let's bend the left leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Shoulders tuck under, neck is nice and long. Soften around the hip. Keeping the right hand on the knee, allow the left arm to fall out to the side, palm facing down. And as you exhale, gently twist over the right side of the body. Left hip comes off of the mat, foot comes across toward the floor. Vision toward your left arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Release the muscles around your hip. Easing the spine into the twist. With your next inhaling breath, come back to the center. Extending the leg up toward the sky, take hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. And begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reverse the circles. Reaching through the heel. Let the sitting bones drop down, gently pressing them away from you toward the wall in front of you. Feeling that lengthening through the back. And then tuck the pelvis, drawing the leg toward the torso just as far as feels okay. Continuing to reach through the heel, belly muscles draw down. And with your next exhaling breath, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Or rest. Belly muscles are drawn down, neck is nice and long, reaching through the heel. And with your next inhaling breath, lower the head and chest. And as you exhale, slowly lower the leg. Once you reach the floor, take a deep breath in and out. Let's bend the knees, placing the feet on the floor. We'll have the feet about hip width apart, walking them as close toward the hips as feels comfortable. Tucking the shoulders under, arms alongside the body. Lifting the toes, spreading them wide as you lower them down, creating one end of your bridge. Pressing the shoulders back and down into the mat, creating the other end. Take a breath in and out. With your next inhale, scoop the pelvis, gently rolling the spine up one vertebrae at a time. Hips come up nice and high. Exhale, gently lowering down. Inhale, scoop and lift, keeping your vision toward the ceiling. Knees parallel. Exhale, gently lowering. Once more, inhale, scoop and lift. If it feels okay, you can hold and breathe or continue coming up and down. If you would like to add the chest opener, you can roll the shoulders under, interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms toward each other, lengthening through the neck, and then extending the arms just as far as feels okay for the elbows and shoulders. If it doesn't feel okay to straighten them, you can keep the elbows bent. Hips are pressing high, knees parallel, pressing into the feet. Chin is gently away from the chest. Really breathing into the heart. Creating space. And let's release the hands, rock the shoulders out, and gently roll the spine down. Now have you extend the legs, bring the arms alongside the body. We'll rock the hands underneath the hips so the palms will face down. I'm going to move into fish pose, opening the throat. So we're going to start by pressing the elbows into the mat and lifting up onto the elbows. And then gently arching back, letting the head come back to the mat. So really just supporting primarily on the elbows, forearms, and the head resting very lightly on the mat. Breathing into the heart. Letting the heart expand in all directions here. Noticing if you feel resistance and just trying to be gentle and soften around it. Gently lift the head and lower back to the back. Bring the knees over the torso, gently hugging them in. Breathing into the low belly. Apanasana. From here, you can either roll to your side, pressing up with your hands, or slip the hands behind the knees, kick the feet over the head, and gently rock up. And then let's come forward onto our hands and knees. If you'd like some extra padding under the knees, please add a blanket there. We'll have our hips over the knees, shoulders stacked over the wrists. Head extends out. Elbows are soft, so the inner elbows are facing each other. Tucking the shoulder blades, belly drawn up. Take a breath in and out. With the next inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the spine, lift the chin. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, drop the chin. Inhale, lifting, spine follows. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Two more following your breath. And with your next inhale, come back to table pose. Keeping those elbows soft, let's reach back with the left leg, dropping the left hip, flexing the foot, engaging all the muscles of the leg as you reach back. Right hip stacks over the right knee. Lift the heart. If it feels okay, you could lift the leg a little higher. And if it feels okay, extend the right arm out. Keeping the left elbow slightly bent. Drawing the belly up toward the back. Strengthening your center as you reach through the foot and the fingers. Lowering the right hand, draw the knee in, rounding the spine. And then lowering the knee back down. Softening the elbows, let's reach back through the right leg, dropping that right hip so it's parallel to the mat, flexing through the foot, engaging all the muscles of the leg, left hip stacked over the left knee. Elbows stay soft, heart is lifted, lifting the leg a little higher if that feels okay. And again, if it feels okay, extend the left arm. Focusing on the center of the body, stable, reaching through the foot and the fingers. Lowering the left hand, drawing the knee in, rounding the spine. And lowering the knee down. Let's come onto our forearms. We'll interlace the fingers. Elbows stacked underneath the shoulders. Tucking the toes under, let's press the hips up and back into dolphin. You can rest your forehead onto the mat if that feels okay. Letting the hips reach high, heels dropping low, pressing into the elbows. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, you can walk your feet gently closer toward your face. Your head will shift so that the crown of the head rests in the palms of your hands. Pressing into the forearms and elbows. And then dropping onto the knees. And let's lift the head. We'll reach back with our legs lowering onto the belly, coming into Sphinx pose. So elbows underneath the shoulders, fingers spread wide as the hands extend out from the forearms. So for a second, just kind of let the body rest. So releasing the muscles, feeling kind of how the bones are holding us. Then pressing into the tops of the feet, begin to engage the leg muscles. Press the pelvic bone down into the mat. Notice how the glutes engage and the low back begins to work. Lift the heart, pressing into the elbows and fingertips, drawing the shoulder blades down. Lengthen through the crown of the head. So all the muscles are engaged, lifting and lengthening. But now soften the muscles of the face. Remember to keep breathing. Rooting through the top of the feet and the pelvic bone. Lengthen a little bit more. Feel the low back engage. And then gently soften. Slide the hands under the shoulders. Roll the hips back onto the heels into child's pose or into reclined puppy. For child's pose, you can leave the hands out, forehead on the mat or a block, or you can bring the arms alongside the body. For reclined puppy, leaving the arms out in front, resting the forehead on the mat, hips reaching up into the air. Releasing the weight of the body to the earth. Breathing into the spine, creating space between the vertebrae. Release just a little bit more if you're holding on, trusting that the earth is here to support you. And let's gently shift back to the hands and knees. We'll come up to kneeling. I think we will just stay low to the ground today, not coming up into standing, just letting ourselves feel that grounding energy today. I think we all need that. Let's bring the right foot forward. Walking the toes out, we'll come into a lunge. So dropping the left hip down, make sure the knee is stacked over the ankle. Think about pressing the right hip back, left hip forward, softening a little more through the front of the hip if that feels okay, and really actively pushing that right foot into the floor for stability. You can hold still here, or if it feels okay, dropping the arms and inhale, lifting up and arching. And as you exhale, reaching out, sweeping the arms down and back. Inhale, lifting up and arching. Exhale, reaching and sweeping. Once more, lifting up and arching. Holding here, adjusting those hips, softening through the front of the left hip, arching if it feels okay. And then we'll float the hands down, rocking that right hip back, lengthening through the spine. Hold and breathe, pressing that right hip back to lengthen the hamstrings. And if it feels okay, lifting the toes, breathing through the back of the leg, noticing where that tightness is, softening around it. Let's bring the right foot back to the mat. We'll place the left hand on the mat, on the inside of the right foot, either on the mat or a block. Right hand to the right knee, gently twisting, lengthening the spine, rotating through the ribs. And if it feels okay, sweeping that right arm up and back. We'll float the hand down, bring that right knee back, and come back to kneeling. And when you're ready, we'll step forward with the left foot, walking those toes out as far as feels comfortable so that when you drop into the lunge, the left knee is stacked over the left ankle. Right hip forward, left hip back, softening through the front of the right hip. Can stay here, just holding in stillness. Sometimes that's what we need. And if you're wanting a little movement, press that left foot into the mat. Drop the arms and inhale, sweeping them up and back. Exhale, reaching out forward, sweeping the hands back. Inhale, lift and arch. Exhale, reach and sweep the arms. Once more, lift and arch. Hold and breathe. Readjusting those hips. Left hip back, right hip forward, softening through the front of the right hip. And we'll float the hands down. Placing the right hand on the floor or block on the inside of the left foot. Left hand on the left knee, rotating the ribs to face the thigh. Lengthen through the spine. Stay here, or if it feels okay, sweep that left arm up and gently pulling back, twisting through the ribs. And floating the hand down. I just realized I did those in reverse order this time, but that's okay. We'll reach back with the right hip, lengthening through the spine. And if it feels okay, drawing those toes up, sending that stretch down through the calf. And we'll bring the foot back down and bring the knees back. Let's tuck the toes under. If it feels okay for your knees, you can sit back onto the heels. Otherwise, go ahead and stay in kneeling or bring the hands back to the mat. We'll just stretch the back of the bottom of the feet for a moment. If you'd like, you can bring the hands to the heart. You can also bring the hands in the back namaste if that feels comfortable. Just softening through the back of the feet, the bottom of the feet. I don't know why I keep saying that wrong. And then gently release. Let's come back onto our seats. And let's bend the knees in front of us. Let's work a little with boat pose. So lengthening through the spine, shoulders back and down. We'll come up onto the toes. And if you need more padding underneath your tailbone, please add what you need. Start with bringing the calves parallel to the mat. If that feels like too much, you can also just do one foot at a time. Drawing the belly muscles down toward the back, soften the shoulders. Can stay here or extend the legs out. And from either position, you can either maintain holding behind the knees or release the hands. If you need a little rest, drawing the knees in and bring the toes down if you need to. And when you're ready, extending out again, either to the same extension or more or less, whatever you need today. Thinking about drawing those lower belly muscles down like a seatbelt. And then we'll lower the feet all the way down. Drop the knees out to the side. Soles of the feet together, we're going to press them away from us. Sliding the hands underneath the lower leg. Bringing them onto the shins, ankles, or feet. Rounding the spine. Dropping the chin. Resting in star pose. Really allowing yourself to let go as much as feels okay right now. And gently roll the spine up, shoulders back and down. We'll extend the legs out and bring the hands back. We're going to work with mongoose pose, really working on releasing some of that tension in the neck. So bringing those fingertips facing the hips, hands back as far as feels comfortable with those elbows bent. I'm going to start with the chin toward the chest and really kind of sink back into the shoulders. So you'll feel some stretch in the front of the shoulders as well. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, begin to gently lift the chin and let it hang back onto the shoulders. You're really supporting with the arms, trying to really release and soften everywhere else. If it feels too intense, go ahead and pull that chin back down. If you want to kind of come back and forth, you can do that as well. And when you're ready to lift up, you can drop the chin back to the chest and press up with the hands and shake them out a little. Let's roll those shoulders back and down. And just looking at our time. Let's do a Janusarasana alternate leg stretch for a moment. So we'll bring the right leg out, left leg is bent. We're going to bring that right hand to the left knee, really turning that torso to face the leg. Inhale, sweeping the left arm out. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Right shoulder comes toward the leg, really working on keeping the body facing the wall in front of you. Dropping the left hip down, lengthening through the side body. With your next inhale, lift up tall, float the hand down. We'll bring the right arm over the right leg and working with crescent for our counter pose. You can keep the hip down, bringing the arm over like this, or you can lift up onto the knee and wrist, opening a little more fully. Doing what feels okay for your body today. And when you're ready, coming back down, we'll switch our legs. Left hand on the right knee, turning the torso to face the leg. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, reaching across the body. Right hip drops down, lift the heart. Left shoulder comes toward the leg. Really opening and releasing. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. We'll plant the right hand down, left arm across the leg. Again, opening the opposite direction with the hip down or coming up onto the knee. And then gently lowering back down. And we'll come back to cross-legged. Extending the spine up tall, shoulders back and down. With your next inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, drop the right ear over the right shoulder. Tuck the right shoulder back and down, breathing into the left side of the neck. Gently releasing anything stuck in there. With your next inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, drop the left ear over the left shoulder. Tuck the left shoulder back and down. Breathing into the right side of the neck. With your next inhale, come back to center. Exhale, turning the chin over the right shoulder. Hold and breathe, shoulders back and down. With your next inhale, come back to the center. As you exhale, turn the chin over the left shoulder. Hold and breathe, shoulders back and down, heart lifted. And with your next inhale, come back to the center and let the breath go. Let's bend the knees in front of us. If you'd like to begin your covering up as we slow down and cool down, feel free to do that. And when you're ready, we'll roll around the spine and roll back. Bending the knees, lifting the legs up toward the sky, rocking the hands or a block underneath the hips. Lengthening through the neck. Ankles and knees are relaxed as you soften the belly, breathing into it. When you're ready, you can bend the knees, rocking the hands or block out from under the hips. Hugging the knees in toward the chest. You can rock from side to side, or if it feels okay, you can make small circles with the low back, bringing the knees in and out. And if you're making circles, you can reverse those. And if you'd like one last twist, you can bring the arms out at shoulder height, knees together, gently dropping the knees to the right, vision to the left, taking a couple of breaths. And with your next inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, dropping the knees to the left, vision to the right, and taking a couple of deep breaths. And coming back to the center, gently lower the feet down and extend out into Shavasana. If your low back is a little achy still today and you want to bend the knees and rest them together or add something, a bolster under your knees, please go ahead and do that. And being sure to cover up as well to keep the warmth in your body. So feet resting about hip width apart unless your knees are bent. Arms slightly away from the body with the palms turned up. Tuck the shoulders back and down. Relax your forehead. Soften your eyes. Loosen your jaw. Gently bring your awareness back to the breath. Allowing each inhale to fill you with a sense of peace and calm. Allowing each exhale to release anything that no longer serves you. Release the muscles from the bones, surrendering them to the earth, feeling its strength and support beneath you. Let the breath bring you back to your heart center. Reconnecting with the light and joy that always reside deep within your heart. Let each breath fill your heart with loving kindness for yourself. Sending that loving kindness to each and every cell of your body. Honoring all of who you are in this moment. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch in whatever way feels comfortable for you. When you're ready, gently bend your knees, roll to your side, and rest there for a moment. And then gently return to a seated position. We'll end with a metta blessing of loving kindness. Please feel free to join in. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings have peace. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. The light in me honors the light in you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. For our world, for our communities, and for ourselves. Thank you all so much for joining me today and taking some time for yourselves.